देखना चाहें वे आपके पास किताब पुस्तकें हैं। गायत्री मंत्र शुरू करेंगे। हो सके उतने समय संध्या के समय अपनी कमर को सीधा कर ले, अच्छा है। आपको स्वास्थ्य लाभ तो होगा ही होगा और ध्यान लाभ भी होगा। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ओम शन्नो देवी रविष्टय आपो भवन्तु वीतये शय्यो रविस्रवन्तु नः। ओम वाक् वाक्, ओम प्राण प्राण, ओम चक्षु चक्षु, ओम श्रोत्रं श्रोत्रं, ओम नाभि, ओम हृदयं, ओम कंठ, ओम शिरा, ओम बाहुभ्यां यशोबलम्, ओम करतल करपृष्ठे, ओम भुवनातु शिरसि, ओम भुवः पुनातु नेत्रयो, स्वाहा पुनातु कंठे, ओम पुनातु हृदये, ओम जना पुनातु नाभ्याम्, ओम तपः पुनातु पादयो, ओम सत्यं पुनातु पुनः शिरसि, ओम कम्रं पुनातु सर्वत्र, ओम भू, ओम वः, ओम स्वः, ओम मः, ओम जना, ओम तपः, ओम सत्यं, ओम ऋतं च सत्यं च तपसोऽध्यजायत, ततो रात्रजायत, ततः समुद्रो अर्णवः, ॐ समुद्रादर्णवः, संवत्सरो अजायत, अहोरात्राणि वेदददविश्वस्यामीशतो वशि, ॐ सूर्या चन्द्रमसौ दाता दिवं च पृथिवीं चान्तरिक्षमतो स्वाहा। ॐ शन्नो देवी रविष्टय आपो भवन्तु वीतये शय्यो रविस्रवन्तु नः। ॐ प्राचीदि गगनेरधिपतिरसितो रक्षिता दिव्या ईशवः, तेभ्यो नमो देवतेभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः, ईशुभ्यो नमः, तेभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं विषमस्तं भोजं मे ददमः। ॐ दक्षिणादिगिन्द्रो दिपतिस्थिरश्चिराजि रक्षिता पितर ईशव तेभ्यो नमो देवतेभ्यो नमो रक्षितेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः तेभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं समस्तं भोजं वेददमः ॐ प्रतीचीदिगवरुणो दीपति प्रेदागो रक्षितान्नमिषव देभ्यो नमो देवादिभ्यो नमो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः तेभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं समस्तं भोजं वेददमः ॐ उदीचीदिक्सोमो दीपति स्वजो रक्षिता शनिरिषव तेभ्यो नमो देवादिभ्यो नमो ईशुभ्यो नमः तेभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं समस्तं भोजं वेददमः ॐ ध्रुवादिगविष्णुराधिपतिः कमासग्रीवो रक्षिता तेभ्यो नमो देवतेभ्यो नमो रक्षितेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः तेभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं समस्तं भोजं वेददमः बृहस्पतिरधिपतिः विष्णो रक्षिता वर्षमीशवः तेभ्यो नमो देवतेभ्यो नमो रक्षितेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः तेभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं समस्तं भोजं वेददमः ॐ उद्वयं तामससपरि स्वाहा पश्यन्त उत्तरं देवत्रा सूर्यमगन्मज्योतिरुत्तमम् ॐ ओदुभ्यं जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति तव ऋषे विश्वाय सूर्यम् ॐ चित्रं देवानां मुदगादनीकं चक्षुरमित्रस्य वरुणस्याग्ने पृथिवी अन्तरिक्ष सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तस्तुषश्च ॐ तच्चक्षुरदेवायिदं दूरस्थाच्छुक्रमुच्चर पश्येम शरदा शतं जीवेम शरदा शतं शृणुयाम शरदा शतं प्रब्रवाम शरदा कृपया अनेन जपोपासनादि कर्मणा धर्मार्थ काम मोक्षाणां सद्य सिद्धिर्भवेन्न। ओम नमः शंभवाय च नमः शंकराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च। ओम शांति शांति शांति। संक्षेप में ही मंत्र का हम विवेचन कर लेंगे, चूँकि एक देवी जी को कुछ समय देना है और हमें 1 बजे तक पूरा कर देना है आज, तो इसलिए हम मेरे साथ आप उद्बोधन के 2 शब्द अवश्य बोलने का कष्ट करें। बोलिए, हे परमपिता परमात्मा, आज हम भक्ति से नम्र बनकर आपके चरणों में आए हैं। आपको हृदय में धारण करके हम अपने मन और आत्मा को पवित्र बनाते हैं। आपकी शरण में रहकर हम अपने दुखों को और दुर्गुणों को दूर करना चाहते हैं। हे दीनबंधु, हे कृपा सिंधु, प्रभु आपके ऊपर श्रद्धा और विश्वास रखकर आपकी कृपा से हम इस भवसागर को सुखपूर्वक पार कर सकें। हे सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप भगवान, हम निष्पाप मन से यहाँ पर आपकी प्रार्थना और उपासना करने उपस्थित हुए हैं। हमें सद्बुद्धि दीजिए, हमें सन्मार्ग दिखाइए, हमें सत्कर्म की तरफ प्रेरित कीजिए। धन्यवाद। इस मंत्र को आप बोल सकते हैं। बड़ा ही सरल मंत्र है और इस मंत्र में वेद भगवान ने, ये यजुर्वेद के 40वें अध्याय का 7वां मंत्र है। इसमें बताया है कि मनुष्य प्रार्थना करते हुए, साधना करते हुए और आत्मोन्नति करते हुए एक जब ऐसी स्टेज पर पहुंचने लगता है तो उसमें संसार में सर्वत्र मित्र भाव दिखता है। अपने साथ अपने वत वो संसार को देखता है मित्र भाव से, प्रीति भाव से। तो इसी मंत्र का इसमें है। आप मेरे साथ बोल सकते हैं। वेद की पवित्र वाणी है, बहुत सुंदर। बोले, ओम यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैवा भू विजानतः तत्र को मोह कः शोकः एकत्वम् अनुपश्यतः। जिस ज्ञानमय स्थिति में सब भूत और सब पदार्थ आत्मा ही हो जाते हैं, उस स्थिति में परम आत्मा के एकत्व का साक्षात्कार करने वाले उस ज्ञानी के लिए कौन सा मोह और कौन सा शोक रह जाता है। अर्थात वह मोह और शोक से पर हो जाता है। The stage of realization where all objects and creatures have become nothing but the self for one who has perfect knowledge of things. There where is attachment and where is sorrow for the person who has realized him in his oneness. धन्यवाद। अब मैं बहन कामिनी से प्रार्थना करूंगा कि वे आए और इस बारे में बताएं। आप 10 मिनट के लिए अपना वक्तव्य अवश्य देंगे। आप इस पर बैठ जाइएगा प्लीज।
धन्यवाद आचार्य जी।
Before we begin, let's all close eyes. Take a deep breath. Expand the abdomen. Expand the rib cage. And expand the chest. Take as much air as possible. And then when you're ready, let's recite Om together 3 times. And then after the third Om, let's pause for 30 seconds. And just take the awareness within.
Slowly open your eyes. I'll try to speak in English because that seems to be my mother tongue for the last 33 years. First of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I've been teaching yoga for about 5 years now, and I'm a certified stress management and meditation teacher. It's unfortunate, I came from an Arya Samaj family, started an Arya Samaj in New York 33 years ago, even taught Sunday school. I got the books from Africa. In those days we did not have books. But I had to wait about 25 years to go to an ashram here to find out that what I have been taught, what I have been practiced, is nothing different than the words that are being used today, yoga and meditation, the buzzword for stress relief. My own inheritance, being born in an Arya Samaj family, all along had taught me those things, but they did not come to me in the format that we practice here these days and we see here these days. We hear about, if I remember correctly, Swami Ramdevji were here in the summer. And then I started reading the Satyarth Prakash, which I should have done a long time ago, but I am not a scholar. But I did read Satyarth Prakash, then I read some of Swamiji's more books. What I found was, and I just share that with you in case some of you are like me, who were brought up, were doing everything, but did not realize that yoga meditation is as much an integral part of what Swamiji actually devised some 200 years ago. When he says Sandhya, if you look at the Sandhya, the way we do it, there is a parallel with that Sandhya and the Patanjali Raj Yoga. So Swami Dayanand Ji were trying to inculcate, bring it to the general public, people like us who did not know Sanskrit, but he was trying to teach us yoga and meditation in the same manner as we hear today from all our spiritual leaders from India, as well as some beautiful and very learned doctors. And of course, Dr. Soni is one of them who's trying to both practice and preach the alternative medicine. But in case you do not know, Harvard Medical College established a mind-body medicine institute about 10 years ago. And Dr. Benson, who founded it, did some research on the Tibetan monks 25 to 30 years ago. All I'm trying to say is that when you come to this privileged place, Arya Samaj, always remember that we inherited the richest scriptures, the richest culture, and the richest dharma from our Swamiji. And I'll just take 5 more minutes to tell you how we really, Sandhya is nothing but yoga and meditation. It's the intention that we do it. Acharya ji just said, the first thing we did was Om. Om is nothing but the first syllable. Whether you want to call it that he's also, for us, a symbol of God, but it's also the first sound. When you open your mouth, ah. And when you close it, it's So you take it down to your throat, and then when you close your lips, it's ma. So A-U-M, Om. And Om is the energy, the prana, the life force. You begin your life when you take your first breath. Your life ends with your last breath expired. So first thing, when we start Sandhya, we always do Om. So we are recognizing that our survival, our physical survival is dependent on the energy that we are deriving from the cosmic. That is always there, that always will be there. Again, synonymous with God. People who are into quantum theory will tell you that that energy is what causes the creation, what keeps the life alive, and what makes the world go round. Secondly, if you come to the first few mantras, Om Vak Vak Om Prana Prana, what we are trying to again remind ourselves, first I need to have the physical body, and therefore it's a God-given gift, I have to take care of it. Then secondly, not only I should have the organs, all the organs should be working in harmony. If it is my speech, it should be sweet. If it is mind, it should be balanced. So again, when you recite those mantras, always remember, going back to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the first is your body. You have to work on your asanas. Second thing is your glandular system. If you go through, the 7 chakras are nothing but what we talk, Om Jana, Om Maha. It's all going through those digestive organs, our thinking organs, our speech. So we are trying to again first say, physically I should be complete. When you are physically easeful, that's when you can breathe peace in easeful as well. The second kosha, the pranamaya kosha, means the energy has to be. And if you go to the next one, the way we say Om Bhu is actually supposed to be done, if you read Satyarth Prakash, is that you take a breath and then exhale completely.
Or if you do it with your nose. So when you do those 7 mantras, if you instead of doing or reciting the mantra, if you just do this, you've already done Bhadraka according to Swami Ramdev. See how beautiful Swamiji did it? I mean, he just went from one to the other in a very, very logical manner. Then the second thing is, the second part, once you have done this Bhadraka, if you want to do it, then you go through a few mantras where you are again expressing the wonder at the whole creation. So in order for you to have that reverence, you have to really see how the creation came into Ritam cha Satyam cha Abhita. So those mantra meanings are trying to create a reverence for you for his creation. So then comes, first we said body, pranayama, then the reverence. And then he again, if you go with the way I do it, and this is all my own personal way, when you are going towards all the directions, you're trying to, number one, acknowledge his presence, whether it's east, west, north, south, below, or above. But you're also, every time you finish it, the last stanza is that I should not be thinking about evil of anybody, and people who are jealous of me or who do not like me, I should still be friendly. That is Patanjali's Pratipaksha Bhavana. It's nothing, that's the only way we can keep our mind from disturbance if we are always good to others. And Narendraji also sang Meetha. So sweet to others, but at the same time that we are not hurt by somebody else's hurting words or words that we don't like. So I can just go on and tell you that Patanjali Yoga Sutra is all combined in that Sandhya. To me, Sandhya really does not mean where the sunset or the day and the night meet. It's Samdhya, self-study. It's all about dhyan. Dhyan means you have to look at what is inside, because our Jnanendriya, Karamendriya are so involved in day-to-day, visually, especially today, our hearing and our eyes are the strongest organs. And we are constantly bombarded from the media, 24/7 TV. So what happens? We have forgotten, it's so hard for us to get used to looking inside. In old days, there was not a problem. You got up in the morning, you looked at the sun, and you said, beautiful creation of God. Everything was very quiet in the morning. That was kind of meditation. Your walk to your form was a meditation. Today we have to make an effort, and that's why you hear all these things. But I don't want to get away from the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The last one and the most beautiful stanza that Swamiji did in the Sandhya, where he combined all the yogas together. What a mastery here, of course. And that mantra is Aksmarpan, really surrender. And he says, Hey Ishwar Dayanide Bhavat Kripiya Ane Japo Upasana. Japo. So when we are doing bhajans here, that's a jap. Whether you want to do jap or you want to do upasana means you are sitting quietly and watching Acharyaji do the havan. Or after Acharyaji finishes pravachan, you just close your eyes and sit and really reflect on what he just said. That is upasana. Really going towards your own inner self, not necessarily always thinking Paramatma ke pahunchne ke liye to pata nahi kitne janam lagenge. But if you just think about your own inner self, that is upasana. Then he says,
Japo Upasnavadi, all those things, whether I'm through the japa or through sitting near the God, what do I want to do? Dharam, whatever is my duty, as a mom, taking care of my children, as a husband, taking care of my wife, as a son, taking care of the parents, earth, or if I'm earning my living, all of us are working, karam, moksha, calm, even if I'm involved in the procreation, in the leisure, it's okay. Vedic dharam is the only dharam which says it's good, dhan kamao, par uska upyog theek se karo. They don't say that don't go out in the jungle and just meditate. Whatever you do, whether it's you doing your duty, whether you are earning, whether you are procreating, or you are trying to go towards God, all of those things do with only one purpose. And the purpose is Satya Siddhi Bhavena. That I want to be one with Him. And those are the last 3 of the 8 steps, 8 limbs, Patanjali Yoga. Means first I focus myself, then once that focus is actually very deep, then finally I go into that meditative state where that object itself disappears, and that's when I get to God. So all I wanted to emphasize was that Swamiji has left us with such a beautiful way of following the Yoga Sutra. And he also combines here both the Bhakti Yoga, the Karma Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. Surrender. The bhajan, the upasana, the japa is bhakti. Surrendering that. Karam, whether you are earning your living or doing your duties, or even if you're just sitting by yourself, you are still in the Jnana Yoga. Pravachan, Arya Samaj, that satsang is the perfect example of combining bhakti, karam, and jnana. When you're doing the havan, if your bhavana, if your mind is focused on the actual meaning, focusing on the fire, listening to what you're saying, not just reciting the mantra, but actually contemplating on the meaning, you actually are trying to get all your sensory organ into one purpose, being with Him. What a beautiful thing. First, the sandhya you do is all yoga. Then havan you do is for people who can't focus without a visual. Sandhya, for sandhya, since you close your eyes, you have to be really very powerful in the sense that you have to be able to shut your mind off. Because the minute you close our eyes, what happens? Most of us start daydreaming. So Swamiji said, okay, let's go to the second part. Let's do the havan. When we do the havan, all our jnana and karamindriya are totally absorbed. There is no way our mind can run anywhere. So that is another place to meditate. Meditation is nothing but losing yourself into what's happening in the moment. Then comes the pravachan. That's also